Hello and welcome back to George Washington News.
As always, this has been an eventful month. We'll be looking at the State of the Union address, Pam Bondi's testimony on the Epstein files, and a new baby elephant at the Smithsonian.
We will also hear from our weatherman, Andrew Rooney, cover U.S.-Iran relations, protests at GW over firings at the Graduate School of Education, and more.
Our lifestyle correspondents, Matthew and Victoria, will talk about who has the best plans for the spring break. We'll get right into it.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Avanti Patwardhan.
And I'm Brady Wilson. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton testified in front of the House Oversight Committee about her and her husband's ties to the disgraced financier and convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. She denied all criminal wrongdoing, saying, quote, "I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island home or offices," end quote. Her hearing was briefly paused after Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert shared an unauthorized photo of the proceedings with conservative influencer Benny Johnson, violating House ethics rules. Clinton claimed that she was called to testify as part of, quote, "partisan political theater," end quote, slamming the committee for allegedly protecting Trump from the fallout of the Epstein files.
For more on the Epstein files, Attorney General Pam Bondi testified in a heated Judiciary Committee hearing on the Justice Department's handling of the files. Nicola Kumite has the story.
It was a fiery and emotional hearing as Attorney General Pam Bondi defended the Justice Department's release of millions of additional files tied to the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. It was a tense 4-hour hearing before the House Judiciary Committee. Bondi began by calling Jeffrey Epstein a monster and apologizing to survivors for the abuse they endured. But lawmakers quickly turned to the Justice Department's release of millions of investigative files earlier this year. Several Democrats accused the department of failing to properly redact survivors' sensitive information. At one point, a lawmaker asked survivors seated behind Bondi to stand if they had not been able to meet with the Justice Department. All of them rose. When urged to apologize specifically for the redaction failures, Bondi declined and instead referenced the previous administration under former Attorney General Merrick Garland. The exchange escalated, with Bondi dismissing the criticism and engaging in heated back and forth with members. Bondi maintained that officials complied with the law requiring the documents released and said inadvertent disclosures were corrected quickly. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie also pressed Bondi over redactions. He questioned why certain names, including Les Wexner, were initially blacked out in sections tied to potential criminal conduct. Wexner has not been charged with a crime and instead he cooperated fully with investigators. Bondi said the name was restored shortly after concerns were raised. Massie argued that the correction came only after lawmakers flagged it publicly. The hearing also turned to whether the files contained evidence involving President Donald Trump. Bondi said there was no evidence that Trump committed a crime, and Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu disputed that assertion and accused her of misleading lawmakers. At several points, Chairman Jim Jordan reminded Bondi that questioning time belonged to committee members after she spoke over lawmakers. Members questioned Bondi about other Justice Department matters, including fatal shootings involving federal immigration agents in Minneapolis. In a rare moment of agreement, Bondi told Congressman Eric Swalwell that threats against lawmakers and their families are unacceptable and said such cases are being reviewed. Recent polling shows broad public dissatisfaction with how the administration has handled the Epstein files, adding political pressure as congressional oversight continues. The Justice Department says it is continuing to review concerns surrounding the document's release. Lawmakers from both parties signaled that additional hearings may remain possible as frustration grows over transparency and accountability in one of the most high-profile criminal cases in recent history. For GWN, I'm Nicola Kumite.
Thanks, Nicole. Russia launches major aerial attacks across Ukraine as United States and Ukrainian officials prepare for higher-stakes peace talks in Geneva. This comes as the Ukraine-Russia war is in its 5th year. The attack targeted 8 regions across Ukraine and hit several key infrastructure and residential areas. Zelensky and Putin have not yet met face-to-face, despite Zelensky saying he believes that would help with negotiations. This will be an important story to watch as peace talks continue.
On Tuesday, February 24th, President Trump delivered the longest State of the Union address. The historic speech lasted an hour and 47 minutes, where the president discussed the economy, the southern border, and his legislative agenda. According to Politico, the president did not attempt to foster bipartisanship in his speech. Axios reported that nearly half of Democrats in Congress skipped the speech, and many stood on the Mall and held a counter rally instead. Ananya Gandesi has the story.
Breaking his own record, President Donald Trump addressed the nation for 108 minutes Tuesday night in his second State of the Union address of his term to a joint session of Congress. 12 Democratic lawmakers, including many progressives like Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona and Representative Pramila Jayapal of Washington, boycotted the speech, with many others staging small protests inside of the Capitol. During his speech, President Trump referred to many key parts of his agenda: the economy, immigration, and even awarded a Presidential Medal of Honor to a veteran. On the issue of the economy, the president claimed that prices were doing better than ever.
But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years.
Even as voters find themselves disillusioned with prices today. Additionally, he touted his immigration agenda, calling for the Save America Act, which would make voters provide proof of citizenship to vote.
The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Democrats inside the Capitol, for their part, staged their own protests, from refusing to stand for applause to holding signs up. Representative Al Green of Texas held up a sign reading, "Black people aren't apes," referring to an AI video posted on the president's Truth Social depicting former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. Green was escorted out, marking a second time of removal after he heckled the president at last year's State of the Union address.
Now, as these Democratic lawmakers speak behind me, they are actively boycotting the State of the Union address happening just in the Capitol right next to us. Here's what some of the attendees had to say.
I fear for the country my granddaughter will live in.
We could very likely lose our democracy if we're not careful. And the more of us realize that we're in danger, the better it is, because more will show up and make sure that doesn't happen.
I didn't want the night to slip away without coming out here to be with the people who were rallying outside. It's freezing, and I admire everybody's stamina and their resiliency in coming to be out here. And it all leads up to November, when we're going to take the Congress back and cut this reign of lawlessness and terror in half.
Here's what College Republican Chairman Kieran Laffey had to say in response to protesters.
I mean, the left loves to use the democracy card. I mean, this is the party that censored people on social media and tried to put the President of the United States in prison. So I don't like that. I think it's too extreme. I think we need to have common sense and sensible, bipartisan solutions.
This face-off between both sides is likely to continue all the way to the midterms in November. For GWTV, I'm Ananya Gnesi.
Thanks, Ananya. A Columbia University student was detained by ICE agents after the officers misrepresented themselves to execute an arrest. Columbia University president announced in a statement Almina Akayeva, a senior at the university, was detained after ICE agents pretended to search for a missing person in a dorm. According to Columbia Inspector, Akayeva posted an Instagram story alerting her followers of her detention, writing, quote, "DHS illegally arrested me. Please help," end quote. Akayeva was later released after New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani met with President Trump. Several universities have responded to Akayeva's arrest. GW Dean of Students Colette Coleman said in an email to students that all law enforcement agents must have a judicial warrant or subpoena to access non-public areas on campus. The Winter Olympics just came to a close. Marlene Orantes asked students how they feel about it.
Winter Olympics this year, hosted in Milano from February 6th to the 22nd, took over the world and brought in national and GW pride. At GW, people have particularly been proud of the alumni who have participated and won, such as Alana Myers-Taylor, a former GW softball player who won the gold medal this year for the women's monobob competition in bobsleigh. Ice and figure skating has also caught the attention of many across the nation and GW, especially gold medalist Alyssa Liu, who figure skated to popular artists like Pink Pantheress and Zara Larsson.
I mainly paid attention to figure skating and women's hockey specifically. I'm Canadian and I love the USA women's hockey team, so I spent all my time following their games. Surprised that both the men's and women's hockey team won gold for the United States. I was shocked that the men won because I was really rooting for Canada on that side, but hey, go Team USA, I guess. I love Alyssa. She is the United States team golden girl. I love her so much, and now I love following her on social media, and she's super cool, and she's really talented at her sport, which is like awesome.
I think I'm more interested in Winter Olympics because I know less people watch it, and it's more like obscure. So I think there's more to be like desired there, whereas summers, like everybody knows about that. So.
Well, I've been seeing about the American ice skater and like the girl that's like really amazing at skiing. You know, like when you watch a really good show and you're like, I want to do that. I think that had that effect on me. Like I'm like, that is so cool. I really want to do it.
The Winter Games are not finished as the Paralympic Winter Olympics are set to begin March 6th and go through the 15th. For GWN, I'm Marlene Orantes.
Thanks, Marlene. After the break, more headlines, updates from Matt and Victoria, and the weather. Stay tuned.
Hello GW and welcome back to another weather segment. I'm your weather correspondent, Andrew Rooney, and we've got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. At the beginning of February, Puxatawny Phil predicted 6 more weeks of winter, and the East Coast is certainly proving him right. A heavy snowfall covered most of the Northeast last week as schools were closed and thousands of residents lost power due to the inhospitable conditions. New York was hit particularly hard, with meteorologists at the National Weather Service saying that the state had received almost double its regular snowfall this winter season. According to Bring Me the News, cold air that normally congregates in the Midwest by Minnesota flew over the area to settle in the east instead, creating the perfect conditions for intense storms like the ones we've been seeing this winter. D.C., however, received significantly less snowfall than most other regions, only 2 to 4 inches across the majority of the DMV. The majority of the snow has been slush, slippery snow mixed with water that can ground roads and make movement more difficult. According to Fox 5 DC, road crews and ordinary citizens alike took to the streets to clear out the snow, creating a safe passage for cars across the DMV. After a sunny weekend, Monday and Tuesday are dipping back down and getting overcast, with meteorologists predicting a chance for a small snowfall on both days. According to the Weather Channel, however, things will warm back up to a high of 51 degrees on Wednesday. That's all I have for you today. Back to you, Avanti and Brady.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm glad it's starting to get warmer, even though it's like a mix of both cold and warm.
Yeah, I think we need some warm weather. We've been in much need of some sun and some warm weather.
That's true. But I do enjoy the winter, but the snow has been like very weird. I know my parents, they're in Jersey, they got hit really hard. Yeah. But like the snow here in DC, they said it was going to snow, and then it like barely. It was like a mix of rain and snow.
Well, I feel like earlier in the month, we got a lot of snow for DC. I feel like they couldn't handle it. Yeah. It was left on, and then it sort of froze over, so they couldn't really break into it with shovels.
Yeah. Well, I guess you won't be needing your coat anymore that you only just recently got.
Not anymore. No more coat.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Andrew. The D.C. Council's recent attempt to decouple from the 2025 federal tax bill was shut down in Congress. D.C. currently has a child tax credit, providing aid to families with children. Decoupling from the federal tax bill allows for D.C. to keep providing families with this credit at the cost of differently appropriated taxes. Since D.C. is not an autonomous state, Congress has the power to disapprove or veto any actions approved by the Council. The Republican-led effort to disapprove the decoupling, led by Representative Brandon Gill, succeeded on February 18th. The D.C. Council is actively reviewing possible plans of action. As of now, D.C. residents who have already filed taxes may need to refile as conformity with the federal bill is applied.
The hunger crisis in Somalia is continuing to worsen, and UN data shows that nearly 6.5 million people are experiencing severe hunger. 1.84 million children are expected to reach acute malnutrition levels this year. The causes of this continuing humanitarian crisis include global aid cuts, drought, and conflict. Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced by this crisis, which also adds to the instability.
Community members gathered outside the university president Ellen Granberg's F Street house to protest about cutting funds towards the Graduate School of Education and Human Development on Wednesday afternoon. Members hand-delivered an open letter to Interim Provost John Locke to stop cutting the funds and faculty layoffs. Officials said that the university did not have enough funding to maintain its faculty and programs due to the continuous decline of enrollment that started since 2014, which has also been found to be a national trend impacting institutions nationwide. The university's new Foundational Excellence Initiative website said that officials will continue to discuss with other university members to decide which further actions should be taken.
Up next, our lifestyle correspondents Matt and Victoria are here to rank the best places to spend spring break. Take it away, Matt.
Hey guys, I'm Matt.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria.
And welcome back to the wonderful, amazing, spirited, powerful, incredible lifestyle segment.
That was a lot of adjectives.
Hey, look, lots of descriptors for lots of fun.
Right. Anyways, we've got some new spring plans for all of you as DC warms up.
God, I can't wait for good weather. Just like I can't wait to check out the Connective Power of Gardens 30th Annual Orchid Show at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Swing by anytime before April 26th to see a beautiful collage of orchids and their connective power in bringing people together across eras.
And on the weekend before St. Paddy's Day, the wharf is going to turn into an Irish wonderland. There will be live bands, Irish step dancing, and even live rugby on the wharf's huge screen. It'll be a blast for everyone.
Now, for anyone interested in a career in the FBI or CIA, make sure to check out the newest exhibit at the International Spy Museum. It's all about camouflage, so if you've ever wanted to look like a chameleon, this is your chance.
And who's excited for 3 days of total awesomeness at AwesomeCon, Washington, D.C.'s premier pop culture convention?
Now, for you guys today, we've got a little bit of a ranking, a tier list as it is, of some places that we can go over spring break. So let's go walk over and see how that goes.
I've never heard of AwesomeCon.
AwesomeCon seems like an awesome time, if you know what I mean.
I agree.
And for all of you over here, this is what the studio looks like. Welcome over. Now we're breaking it through a bit. So we have here today our amazing, awesome tier list of spring break destinations. Victoria and I are going to go one by one, picking a spot and ranking it from S to D. S is the place that you want to be going. D is why would you spend money to go here. No offense to anyone going there or living there, except a little bit of offense. So, Victoria, you want to take the first one here?
Sure. LA. I say D tier.
LA on D tier? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Kind of overrated.
Are you kidding me?
It's not even a real city.
Not even a real city.
The East Coast is way better than the West Coast, so...
So we have someone born and bred in New York right here. I'm from Southern California, and end of the day, that's a horrific decision. I'm fully against it. You guys, thoughts?
East Coast, West Coast, sorry.
Exactly.
I agree.
I like the Midwest, but I have never been to LA. It seems like very expensive, so I don't...
Very expensive for a very good reason. When we want to talk about expensive, let's go to New York. New York, also D tier. Okay?
Absolutely not. That's crazy.
New York is in our D tier, and here's why. No. You go to New York, stinky, smelly, busy, gross, hot, humid, rats, everything. New York, horrible.
And LA's not? I'm sorry.
Pick the next one. Pick the next one.
Sure. Let's see. DR.
Dominican Republic.
Wait, I meant to say B tier.
B tier.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice beaches, fun, relaxing. Great spring break plan.
I respect it. You know what? I want to take a bit of an international dive. We're going DR. That's international down south. Let's go across the pond. Let's talk about London. Give me S tier on London. Hear me out. You're going over there, aren't you?
I'm going there this spring break.
I think we agree on this one. London, phenomenal place, beautiful city, beautiful area. I respect it.
Great city. Rome, say great. I'd also say S tier.
S tier for Rome, really?
Yeah, beautiful city, lots of history, lots of museums, great shopping. Food's great.
Sure.
And you can take an easy trip all across Italy.
And you've been to Rome?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I have yet to go, but it seems like a phenomenal time, we'll say. Though probably a little hot and humid at this time of year, I think. No? Who knows? Either way.
I was there about the summertime, so bring Andrew back in here.
Hey, I'm not the expert here, he is. But either way, let's go ahead and jump to our next one. Let's talk about Cancun. Cancun, I think we give a solid A tier. It's kind of quintessential spring break, You're thinking Cancun, Mexico, just on the Gulf there. Beautiful spot to go, relax, chill on the beach, just have a wonderful time. I think it's a staple for a reason, right?
I would have to agree. I agree, for sure.
Boom.
We need some warm weather. Warm weather is where it's at.
That's what spring break's all about, isn't it?
Right.
Here we go. All right, we got 2 left. Which one do you want to take?
I'll take Fort Lauderdale. I'll give it an A tier.
A tier for Fort Lauderdale?
Right there by the beach. More quiet than Miami, but pretty fun.
You know what? Just for that, Miami's going up in the S tier. Here's the thing.
Absolutely
Miami
not.
is spring break central. You go to Miami, you're going there for a phenomenal time. It's spring break in Miami. Where else would you rather be than on the beaches down there? White sand. As much as I'm a defender of the West Coast beaches, they got nothing on a Miami beach.
Way overrated, way overpacked right now, way overpriced.
Yap. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for us on our spring break trip tier list. What'd you guys think? How'd we do?
I thought this was great. I am not going to any of these places over spring break, unfortunately. I will be in New Jersey, but I would love to go to any one of these.
Yeah.
New Jersey's got it's fun.
Yeah.
Like what?
You guys have a beach, right? Maybe?
Yes, we
do
have
like
beaches.
the Jersey Shore? Like
Jersey Shore,
Jersey
yeah.
Shore.
They got the guys?
I feel like you have to go somewhere warm. I feel like if you were to go somewhere cold like New York, that's filled with rats.
Says the guy going to New York over spring break.
I might for one day. I've never been to New York, so I feel
It'll
like
change your mind. New York's amazing.
I feel like you have to experience New York at some point in your life, so I feel like now is the time to do it.
And you will get that experience soon, right?
Yeah.
So thank you both. And I think we are all very, very excited for spring break.
Yes, we are.
I think we all are.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
On February 2nd, the Smithsonian National Zoo celebrated the birth of a female Asian elephant calf. The Asian elephant, an endangered species, are the largest living land animal, according to the National Zoo. The pregnancy lasted 12 months for 12-year-old Ni Lin. The baby calf was officially named Li Mei by the public through $1 donations, as it gained over 22,000, or 39%, of public votes on February 13th.
GW Palooza happened this weekend with homecoming celebrations spread out from the 26th to the 28th. Events include a Raise High rally, a Georgia's Army tailgate, even nominating a president of the weekend. Deemed through their postering as, quote, the best weekend to be a GW student, end quote, this is a fairly new phenomena established in 2021. So we are celebrating the 5th year of Palooza this year. Organizations and individuals were given chances to come out and compete for prizes. And that's all we have for you this episode. For GWN, I'm Avanti Patworthan. This is Toasty.
And I'm Brady Wilson. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to stay warm.